been the boss of my sister, but also, in a way, she's always been the boss of me. So this is Exhibit A. Okay. Ready, Katie? Okay, so, yeah, there's a lot of echo. It does sound like I'm a preacher.
I'm sorry.
I'll just start. Okay, so, oh hey, Duke. So I've driven through a lot of states so far in 2017, and I was, like, the first trip that I took, I was driving from Chicago to LA, and I was driving through, like, Colorado and Utah, and I saw a lot of places called Taco John's, and I didn't stop at any of them because I didn't really feel like trusting a guy named John with my tacos, you know? Like, that's kind of like trusting a guy named John to be politically correct at karaoke. Or like trusting a guy named John to not wear khakis at this cool event you thought you could bring him to, but it turns out he's not that cool. Or like trusting a guy named John to not eat your Tabasco-flavored Cheez-Its after you fall asleep. Or trusting a guy named John to not be friends with a bunch of other guys named John. Or trusting a guy named John to not, you know, interrupt you while you're freestyling because, like, you're normally not so good at freestyling and weed makes you anxious, but this one time, you're on beat and, like, you're rhyming and you're making sense and you're on rhythm, and then he interrupts you because he feels like he has something better to say than you. Or trusting a guy named John to not be a sore loser at beer pong because it's your birthday and he should just be happy for you that you won this one time. Or trusting a guy named John to not be weird after that one time you guys hooked up. So my mom always gives me good advice. You know, she's always saying, put yourself out there, and I did it, and John gave me gonorrhea. Yeah, because I feel like using condoms is kind of like rinsing fruit, you know? Like, no one really does that. On my journeys this year, I was like going through different states and I was tuning into different stations, you know, different radio stations, different pop stations. I love pop music. It like makes me feel really excited. But also I feel kind of like a victim when I listen to pop music, you know? Like, all these songs are talking about my body parts as a woman, and all these little kids know the words to all these songs, you know, like head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. I just feel like it's objectifying women. Also, I went to this sushi restaurant, and they had a really cool bathroom. So on the toilet, they had, like, different settings, and there was a bidet setting, you know. And I realized, like, I'm never going to be successful or fancy enough to actually have my own bidet, but if you poop hard enough, you have a bidet right there. I'm from Alabama.
Yeah.
And whenever I tell people that, I have to say like, oh, but I don't discriminate. And then I have to tell them my one thing is that I can't share a meal with a gay man. It's too expensive. But yeah, I'm from Alabama, but like my ancestors are from Wales. And I don't mean like the I mean the country. But both my grandfathers actually do look like whales. They're big and they're white and they complain when there's not enough ice cream. But I'm not really an ice cream person. I'm really more of a soup person. I just want an excuse to put sour cream and cheese on anything. Yeah, so growing up in Alabama, I was really into doing volunteer work, I was always teaching kids how to make friendship bracelets. It's really important. But I'm not so into that anymore. Really, I work for this organization, and it's called telling sad musician boys that their dads should be proud of them. Yeah. Recently I realized that I'm not into people that have, full-time jobs, that have things figured out, and if I walk in a guy's room and he has a bed frame, it's a little bit of a turn on. Oh, do I need to set my shoes somewhere else? Oh, you don't have any posters? Do you have any interests? Yeah, and their rooms, those kinds of people, they have really clean rooms, and it confuses me, but I've realized that people with clean rooms, they, on occasion, do have good cocaine. So I just finished school.
Yeah.
Just finished school.
Bullshit.
Yeah. No, it's for real. I have my diploma, basically. And, yeah, I finished school. But while I was in school, I took this acting class. And, we get real barefoot in acting class. So, maybe 2 of you guys know what I mean by that. And so, it was winter time, and I have a lot of dead skin. So I was picking at the dead skin on my feet, and eventually my feet get really dry. Katie is the only person that can relate to that because our mom has really dry feet. And so I had this pile of dry foot skin in my hand. And I didn't know what to do with it, I didn't want to drop it on the floor because someone would see that and it would be gross. So I put it in my pocket. And then this other time, okay, so I eat soup a lot, and
Yes.
Oh God.
I talked about soup earlier, and I get really eager, and I burn the roof of my mouth, and then it gets bubbles. So you have to pop the bubbles, with your tongue or your finger. And then you have all this dead mouth skin hanging from the roof of your mouth, so you have to scrape it. And then I have this handful of dead mouth skin. and I didn't know what to do with it, so I put it in my pocket. And then my roommate got pet fish, and we all know what fish food looks like. Yes. So I finally have a use for the skin in my pocket. And what is going on this? None of this has a you know when you have a joke and then you have the end of it. None of this has the end of it. But I'm just gonna do it just because I don't care, because it's you guys and you guys are my friends. So you know when you use a Q-tip and your ear is too dry and it sounds like and you don't get the satisfying squish squish that you're looking for. So you put some Vaseline in your ear and then you really and then you throw it away and you feel like you didn't waste a Q-tip. And then you look in the trash can and all your roommates have thrown these used Q-tips in the trash can, and you look at how orange they are and you're like, those used Q-tips are so orange. What kind of pumpkins am I living with? And then you're like, all right, let's make this more political. Those Q-tips are so orange. What kind of Trumps am I living with? And then you're like, let's make this more seasonal. Those Q-tips are so orange. What kind of Labor Day elves am I living with? Okay, that was really silly that I got back up just to do that silly stuff. That's it. Let's just have a good night for the rest of the day.